Welcome back everyone to another Company Fears 2 Replaycast. Aren't you excited? This time it is going to be a 2v2, or no, it's actually a 4v4, holy shit. I didn't realize it. It's on, is this Essence Steelworks? Yes, it's Essence Steelworks. Haven't seen you in a long time. Didn't plan to. Suicide Squad, playing as the Soviets. Then Jeff, 15975, who sent in the replay, so thank you for sending in the replay. DuckyFarmskins.com cs.money. Holy shit, scam bot. Oh my god, what is this name? And then Tamato RNG1. Sure. On the enemy team, we're gonna have Darren playing as the Wehrmacht, who hasn't built anything because he's gonna spam caches. Smoke Perp playing as the OKW. Nedirshan 0070. That didn't make any sense. Anyway, playing as the Wehrmacht, and Smallwood playing as the Wehrmacht as well, with engineers and machine guns. So no tier 1. Interesting. So I'll just quickly go over everybody, what he's gonna be doing, and etc. etc. So I'll try a new format of actually focusing on what the actual guy who sent in the replay is doing in a team game, despite of anything. But yeah, so Suicide Squad seems to be going for tier 1 and some penals. He's got Guard Motor, Lend-Lease, Soviet Shock, so he's a meta slave, I guess you could call him. He just likes things that are meta, and he's gonna go Lend-Lease. So he's gonna be able to spam those M4Cs without having a tier 4. Pretty good medium tank, of course, really awesome for flanking maneuvers, etc, etc, etc. Dushka, very good machine gun, allows him to kind of skip tier 2, except he really wants this gun, so I hope that he actually goes for tier 2. And Conscript Prepare, which he's not going to be using because he's got penals. Now, first engagement on the left between the engineers and the between all the engineers, but there's a bit of a machine gun. Now, Jeff is going to be looked at later, and ooh, he's actually retreating his infantry. I wonder, I think he got into a machine gun. Yeah, most likely he just ran into the machine gun. And there's Ducky going for some infantry sections and a universal carrier pretty good, and also going for some fuel caches. So he's going to be playing a bit of a supportive role, it seems like, on the right side. He's got a machine gun fixed up in the obvious building along the fuel, and his friend Temator RNG is going to be going for, oh no, Commando Regiment. That could be interesting. Commando Regiment, very good against OKW with the air supremacy operation. He's got universal carriers and already engineers, so it looks like he's going to be going for some fast ticking. On the Germans, we have Smoke Perp, who's got Firestorm, Special Ops, and Luftwaffe Ground Forces, so lots of anti-infantry stuff coming from his doctrines. He's going to be going with some infantry normally, and he's already got a truck basically hiding out in the corner. I'm guessing he's going to go for a battle group to hide there and try to take over the right side with that forward base. As a support, Davrin going for assault support, of course, with the Tiger and the Opel Blitzes. Opel Blitzes, which, I mean, you might as well go for fuel caches, but he's the guy building all the fuel caches. So I'm guessing that his idea is to go for tons of fuel caches and then put down a bunch of trucks as well. Wait, what the? It still says it's putting in munitions. Did they change caches? Was there a patch I didn't really realize was happening? Because it still says that it's less than what it did. It used to pump it up to +8 fuel. Now it's +6, and now also it's still +5, like a neutral point. Huh. I guess they changed that without really me noticing. Well, then that makes caches a lot better, actually. Yeah, that makes caches, especially in the early game, a lot better. So I'm guessing that this German strategy of actually going for lots of caches first is going to pay off. Sniper already from Jeff. Now, Jeff seems to be going for that tier 2 with the sniper, and he wants the AEC as well. AEC is definitely an amazing idea. I'm not sure if he realized what was going on with all the fuel caches, but if he did, then going for the AC is a very good decision. Sniper also can help counter the machine gun, but right now this position is kind of impossible to assail because of the mortar. and also because of the reinforcement bunker. This is Nadir. He has, what is that? Festung support doctrine, right? So LEFH artillery, relief infantry, which is of course very strong, sector artillery, which is really weak, and the mortar half track, which can be useful, especially when people are turtling like this. If I was Jeff right now, I would be trying to be a little bit more aggressive because, yes, of course, I am the British. Of course, he was also waiting for the AC, though, so I guess it's fine. But essentially sitting around while your opponent is mortaring you is usually a pretty bad idea. Right now, however, with the AC, he can bring in some of his infantry and, well, try to make a bit of a push. I would have also bought a Royal Engineer squad before actually going in with the AC. Managed to wipe out one enemy unit though, and this is the reason why I would have wanted to, see an engineer out of him before going in with the AC, because right now he has no way to actually repair that. Unless he were to pick, oh no, that's 6 CPs, never mind. Unless he were to pick the Royal Engineers for the vehicle crew repairs, but that's of course 6 CPs. Right now on the extreme left, Smallwood, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. He's going on both sides of the map. In the meantime, on the right side, it seems like Battle Headquarters has been completely sort of deprived of its escort, and, well, they're going to be able to recapture the area, but still, taking damage. Very, very dangerous. And that's the first Opel Blitz, which doesn't seem to be doing anything. Wait, no, hold on. Okay, so it boosts the fuel income by 3, and, oh, also the munitions income by 5, so that means that it doubles the resources. So if I were only... well, if I could see the view from Davran, I would see plus 10 and plus 12. No, I would see plus 10 and plus 9. Okay, so it doubles the base income. Right, okay, so I see what Davran is doing. He's going to go for the resources strategy, and that's a really good strategy in 4v4s because people don't really have the ability to go ahead and strike out at like 17 different fuel caches, and if your allies can hold 3v4 in the meantime, then you're going to be extremely advantaged when you actually hit the late game, because you're just going to have so many resources stocked up. As you can see, Davin is just shooting forward of the allies. He's got 50 fuel as opposed to the allies' 35, and 57 munitions as opposed to the 36. So he's going to be able to, with lots of engineers, which, yeah, look at that, he's already going for a Panther at 10 and 40. Which is insane. It's a bit, it's even better than, going for the fuel drops from Luftwaffe Supply. Because the fuel drops are very, very manpower expensive for an upfront boost of fuel. But this is actually giving income. So it's going to be lasting for essentially the entire game. Gliders. Interesting. In the meantime, on the left side, it looks like Jeff is trying to use his AC as much as possible, but he's going to meet a bit of an obstacle soon enough. Wait, no. He canceled the Panther. Or he lost the Panther. He was going for a Panther like 2 minutes ago. But I guess he canceled it and got out like 3 more trucks, which was a mistake. Because at this point, the allies do kind of figure out what he's doing. And now with the PTRSs are pretty much the perfect counter to this, because they can pretty quickly dispatch the truck without really too much of an issue. In the meantime, we see a Panzer IV from Smallwood. Now, the good thing about this kind of strategy is that it also benefits your allies, because as you can see, so for example, Smallwood has 44 fuel as opposed to 35 from the allies because of the fuel caches. So it looks like the right side of the map... oh no, he has gotten the Panther, it's just that it's going on the right side of the map, so I didn't notice it. And on the right side of the map, it just absolutely slaughtered all of the British, along with the support of the mortar half-track. Is that a mortar half-track? No, that was 2 support guns. So, utilizing both, essentially the best of both worlds from the Germans, and there goes... who's that? Nadirshin. Well, Nadirshin, why did he quit? I'm guessing that was a DC, because, I mean, all of his stuff is still pretty well alive. He hasn't lost any vehicles. He was going for a tier 4. I don't know, I'm guessing that was a DC, because that does not really seem like a rage quit. Whereas on the right side, Yeah, the Germans have control pretty much entirely over the right side with their vehicles. Now, at this point, what they should be doing is they should be bringing us at least the Panther and one of the Panzer IVs, but also maybe some more stuff towards the left, because the more you stay on the right, the more time the Allies have to actually mobilize a response. For example, like this 6-pounder anti-tank gun. I'm not sure what it's trying to do, but yeah. What is this guy trying to do? I will never know. What is he doing? That is so confusing. Anyway, yeah, he's gonna be taken out by the MG42, the pintle-mounted one. Yeah. So AC died, right? Must have died. Ooh, and in the center we have a flame half-track, which is gonna die to the Su-76. Very good usage of attack round by Suicide Squad. I think he's gonna be able to destroy that half-track. So far, Suicide Squad doing a very good job, also supporting his ally Jeff, which has allowed them to steal a pack. And the pack is going to be very, very good supporting the Su-76 and supporting the sniper and the Vickers machine gun. There are also some mines going down by Jeff, which is, of course, an excellent decision, because whenever the Germans do decide to bring their units back onto the left side, they'll have some nasty surprises that they wouldn't really want to see. Also, a lot of Opel Blitzes have been destroyed on the left side, as has the 222 from Niederschen. So, pretty good plays coming in from the Allies, responding to the German push on the right. We also do see a couple of Cromwells from our Brits players. But unfortunately, Davren, at 50 minutes, has 2 Panthers, so absolutely nothing that Cromwells or any, well, British vehicle at this point can really do, except, like, swarms of Fireflies, and that's not available right now. This Su-76 should retreat as quickly as possible, escape from the Panthers, because if the Panthers decide to actually go in and fight, and, you know, do a flank, there's not much that the Su-76 can do about it. But the problem is, these Panthers are just focusing a little bit too hard on the right side. They're kind of tunneling. There goes the Su-76. They're kind of tunneling on the right side and letting the Cromwell from Jeff just run rampant throughout the left. It seems like they have kind of just abandoned the left side of the map, which is, in my opinion, a bit of a mistake, because it's allowing the Allies lots of free resources and territory. And yeah, here comes Smoke Perps infantry, and then there goes Smoke Perps infantry. Almost gets taken out by the Cromwell, and there goes another fuel cache. So all of the fuel caches are being completely just erased from the map by the Cromwell, which is exactly what Jeff 1595 should be doing, because at this point he needs... What was that smoke run, AI? He needs to be essentially shaving off as many of the resource advantages that the Germans have built up as possible, so that the Germans don't really get too much of a lead. They don't really run away with it, because they've already got a pretty substantial advantage from those caches and Opel Blitzes. But if the Allies just allow them to keep that advantage for free, then things are going to get ugly real quick for the Allies. And this Cromwell, and of course also the other Cromwell from the other Brit player, and now the M4C Sherman from Suicide Squad, are exactly the units required. Quick units that can move around the map without too much of a problem, and that are also quite, I guess, expendable. You don't really lose the game if you lose a Cromwell. So you can just run around, be bold with it, and, you know, do things. 3 Panthers for Davren, and looks like 2 Panzer IVs, one of them hits mine, a 3rd Panzer IV is coming up right where that one left. And that's gonna be the end, unfortunately, for this Cromwell. Also for the crew of the pack, from the just spam of pintle-mounted machine guns, one of the Panthers almost goes down. There's another 6-pounder from Ducky, and he's going to be able to use the vulnerability of this Panzer IV to hit it in the rear. Unfortunately, it pops some smoke. In the meantime, the M4C Sherman just has to retreat because there's just too many German vehicles. But really, really nicely, here comes a Anvil upgraded artillery barrage from somebody's base. I'm thinking that's Jeff's. Yes, that is Jeff's artillery barrage. So, of course, the airburst shells actually just stunning up and blinding the vehicles, forcing them to essentially be less effective, taking lots of damage. I'm guessing that was the wreck of some German tank, most likely a Panzer IV. In the meantime, the German infantry isn't really coming in to assist because there isn't much German infantry, and the one that did come in was slaughtered and forced to retreat. Panzer IV also forced to retreat. Tons of bombs coming in all over, so it looks like the Allies coming in herding from that engagement, but they still have a bit of a chance to get back in it. Here comes a rocket run from a Typhoon, which should be doing a little bit of damage against the enemy vehicles, but not really too much of a worry for the big heavy tanks. So that was from Ducky Farmskins. That's the strafing support. There goes another Panzer IV. So really the one who came off hurting was Smallwood, losing 2 of his 3 Panzer IVs, and the other one is very, very damaged. He's going to be going for the Tiger Ace, the Elite Troops Doctrine. In the meantime, the Germans licking their wounds at the Battle Group, Battle Group Mechanized, I guess, base. So with the Automatrons, he can easily repair those Panthers that have been damaged. The Germans should really be going for a lot more engineers, especially Davren. Because Davren has lots of tanks that need repairing right now, and he does not want to keep those tanks around when there could be possibly things like M4C Shermans coming in to destroy them from the rear. 2 M4C Shermans right now on the field for Suicide Squads. It's pretty good, but he's going to be going for more Shermans soon enough because he's got the resources. He's got, you know, the pop cap, so he can go for more Shermans. He's also got the need for more Shermans. They're not going to be too effective against the Panthers, but they're going to be effective enough, especially for their price. And Jeff, going for the vehicle he probably needs, which is the Firefly. At this point, though, he should be very careful with the Firefly. He does not want to lose it before he gets a second one, or in any way some units to actually support it. With his 670 manpower, if I was Jeff, I would be going for some AT guns. Because after I saw that huge armor swarm, I would be like, yeah, I need some AT guns to actually hold the areas I actually control. And then perhaps pay a little bit more attention to my infantry force so that I can actually capture some more points. That's what I would be doing. Ooh, Flame Hetzer from Smoke Perp. Interesting decision. In the meantime, there's a bit of an assault on the right side from a Comet by Temeko RNG. Interesting. Yeah, Firefly taking the rocket barrage from the First Term Doctrine. And of course, with 2 Panthers around, that could be very dangerous. Right now, the artillery is coming down from both sides and forcing the tanks to reconsider their, you know, plans for life. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like any casualties were suffered by either side. Is he sitting on yeah, he's sitting on an uncompleted mine. Ooh, Firefly takes out the 222. Interesting. Well, this is the AI, right? Okay, never mind. AI going for that smoke spam. Little bit of an interesting tactic. In the meantime, the Germans seem to be massing up on the 2 wings of the map. So we have one huge group on the right side with the Panzer IVs and the Panthers by Smoke Perp. And then we have the left side group by, of course, Davren with the Panthers. Not really quite sure this is the best possible option for our German players. I will be trying to concentrate as much as possible into one area. Of course, they still might be able to concentrate on one target, just coming in from 2 different angles, which would be, I guess, pretty ideal for the Germans right now, because they have the absolute armor superiority. This is the 4th Panther by Davren. Davren has 4 of them. He's got 50 fuel a minute, which means he can pump out a Panther about every 3.5 minutes. Considering the build time every 4.5 minutes. So, pretty strong type of a deal. Oh, that's pretty bad. Damaged engine on the Panther from a satchel charge might mean that he has mobilized to try to take out the Panther. Now, this is exactly what it seems like Jeff wants to do. Not sure what Suicide Squad thinks, however. Smoke bombs being dropped, and the Panthers are charging in alone. This is a bit of a charge of the Light Brigade, as much as it is a charge of the Medium Heavy Brigade. And that's very risky, coming in with no support. The other German forces just sitting around on the right side, not really doing anything. There goes one of the Panthers. One of the Fireflies does also go down. This could be a good trade for the Germans if they run away right now. But they're not running away. They're keeping themselves in the range of these anti-tank guns, which are now pounding upon them. There goes the 2nd Panther. Also, lots of AT coming in from... What is this guy's name? Like, the spammer guy. Yeah, Ducky. because he's also got a 17-pounder, which hasn't been turned in the right direction. But along with the Firefly, he's also got some Piats, and there goes the 3rd Panther. Very huge fragmentation bombing strike from the Germans, but this will not be enough to save the Panther. There it goes from the M4C Sherman. That was absolutely a bit of a suicide charge by the Germans that was absolutely not necessary. And that turns the scales definitely in the favor of the Allies. Horsak Glider being dropped pretty much on the Stugs, trying to probably capture the point. In the meantime, the Germans have pretty much lost the VP game. They're at 143 VPs compared to the 420 of the Allies. Now they seem to have the advantage and they're going for a 3rd VP, which is of course good for them. But when the Allies actually regroup, they're going to find essentially the Germans down 1 player. So this could be very, very bad. Of course, down 1 player relatively, because he may have lost 3 Panthers, but Davred has 2 left. He's built another one, and he had 1 left. So he's still quite effective as an anti-vehicle. The 2 Panthers can still prove a very, very decent threat to the 3 M4C Shermans. Actually, no, that's 4 M4Cs right now for Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad's problem is that he really cannot maintain his M4C fleet repaired and operational at all times, because he went for the penal spam with the Lend-Lease. So that means that he does not have, like with Soviet Industry, the repair stations. He does not have anything that could be doing the vehicle self-repairs, like with guard motor coordination. He's only got the conscript repair package to actually repair his vehicles. And the conscript repair package doesn't really work if you don't have conscripts. He's also lacking a field infirmary, which is very bad because that means he's sending his penals in with no HP. For example, as you can see, the squad has 50% of the HP, and he's sending them into the battle, which means that they're going to be lasting about half as long and taking more casualties in the action, thus bleeding him more manpower. And that's very, very bad. He absolutely, with these kinds of horde tactics that he's doing, he needs to be using his hordes at full strength. There goes something, not sure. So how are the other Germans faring? 2 Flamehetzers by Smoke Perp. That is most definitely a bit of an exaggeration. Ooh, Stuka. Well, first barrage does destroy an AT, and also something destroyed the 17-pounder, so that's good for the Germans. I'm guessing it was the Flamehetzers. No, it wasn't the Flamehetzers, but, well, it must have been something. So yeah, that's good. Could have been a rocket barrage, actually. That's definitely not too bad at dealing with buildings. There, speaking of dealing with buildings, there goes the factory with the penals in it. Unfortunately, forced labor appears to be deadly today. And right now, the rest of the allies, Temato RNG has nothing, because he's been focusing on getting out some commandos, but he hasn't really been using them as well as he could be. He's got a Comet, but he doesn't have any engineers to actually repair with. Now he goes for some engineers, which is of course very good, but might be a little bit late. In the meantime, Ducky, Mr. Scam Guy, he's got a Firefly or 2. What else does he have? What else has he lost? What else does he have? Well, he's lost lots of vehicles. Yeah. Lost 2 Cromwells and a Centaur. I didn't even notice the Centaur. But, oh well, he's still got that Firefly. He's got a decent amount of munitions stocked up, which might mean tulip rockets, but not sure. And Jeff has picked the Doctrine, which is the tactical support. Excellent choice with the artillery cover against the kind of a Panther Swarm. It's going to be very, very good. Blinding them, stunning them, and of course, you know, doing quite a bit of damage in an area against any kind of vehicles. There goes the Firefly. That's why you don't send Fireflies up alone. It's never a good idea. Shermer Firefly from Jeff right now is still pretty much up and about, and it's going to go down to the swarm of Panthers, I'm guessing. Also, ooh, Davren is switching up tactics. Instead of spamming Panthers, he's spamming P-Verfers, which hasn't been doing much because the allies don't really have any static emplacements, nor any particular hordes of infantry that are problems for the Germans. Right now, the horde of M4Cs is stacking up and trying to do something about these Panthers. It seems like it tried and managed to destroy one Panther. I guess one M4C was lost, but it was instantly replaced by the factories of Magnitogorsk. And well, this Panzer IV, oh, it's yeah, right, never mind. I'm not sure why the Allies haven't been experimenting more with attacking the right side. It is quite well defended by lots of German units and some, of course, OKW trucks. But the Allies seem to be focusing a lot on the center and the left, which might be good, but right now it's kind of draining their VPs. They're down to 196 due to all the triple capping, and that was an excellent Stuka strike. So Smoke Pup definitely getting his Stuka work done quite well, as opposed to his friend Davrin, not really doing all that well with his P-Workers. I think he should have just stuck to Panthers, maybe branched off into Broom Bears. Going for like a Broom Bear or two could have helped out against things like AT guns and especially 17-pounders, but also against especially the PTRSs. I already said especially, but the PTRSs are very, very vulnerable to the Broom Bears. That's to say, if they don't die already, I mean... That was not a good idea, PTRS Pino. Like, you managed to just slightly worry this mortar crewman, and you throw away your life. That wasn't very good. So Jeff going for another Firefly, which is a good decision. If I was Jeff, I would just be spamming Fireflies at this point. Mostly just because, like, I see that the Germans are going for so many tanks, and I'm like, yeah, 2 or 3 Fireflies can easily deal with it, so might as well just do it. The Germans don't really have elite infantry to speak of so far, so pretty much huge swarm of versatile units that the Allies have with the M4Cs, the engineers, the heavy engineers, the infantry sections. That's going to be enough to deal with the German infantry, whatever, there is of German infantry, which isn't a lot. And yeah, of course, with his doctrine, he needs munitions a lot, because of course, a resupply operation isn't an ability that people use very often. It just drops crates and medical supplies, and also, crates with machine guns and medical supplies, etc., etc. The field recovery operation could be useful for him because of all the wrecks that must be coming, coming up on the field from all of the vehicles that are dying. So if I was him, I would actually try to go for some sappers that can actually salvage, because that could give him quite a bit of extra resources. Command vehicle, he doesn't really need a command vehicle because he really doesn't want to be slowing down his Fireflies nor reducing their reload speed. So in general, you don't want to be giving the command vehicle role to something that's a very valuable combat unit. You want it to be something like an AEC could be pretty good as a command vehicle. I'm pretty sure you can still designate AECs as command vehicles. It's only universal carriers that you can't do. So if I was Jeff, I might try to go for an AEC as a support to the Fireflies. But he has gone for the Tulips, which is always a solid choice in my opinion. Tulips over the artillery cover. Now, of course, every time you use a Tulip, that's going to be 1.5 like artillery covers. No, sorry, I'm retarded. Yeah, it's going to be like, a little less than half of an artillery cover. What was that? That shot through the trees. I hope that was an attack round, because if it was an attack round, that was like the best attack round I've ever seen. If it wasn't, that was absolutely disgustingly bugged. Because that Firefly should not have been able to fire automatically like that. And this is going to go down. Satchel charge on the Panther plus 4 M4Cs coming in equals bad. But here comes... Is that the air supremacy? Yeah, that is the air supremacy, which could be very, very bad for the M4Cs. M4Cs decide to bug out as quickly as possible out of the area. There's a Tiger Ace also, which takes a direct hit from 2 bombs, which basically drops it to like no HP, and then the M4Cs actually come in and take advantage of it. Very good coordination from our allied players. I was not expecting that. That was an excellent play by Suicide Squad, getting outside of the radius of the bombing, and then going back in to finish off the Germans while they weren't there. That was really good. I like that a lot. And ooh, right now there's a KT in the center from Smoke Perp, supporting some Panthers by him, and also by Davren guy person. AC from Ducky, who does not have the command vehicle, so I'm not sure why he went for AC spam. He's spamming ACs. Weird. Anyway, yeah, not working. Not working out at all for him. What could be working out for him is the Typhoons. But the Typhoons can only do so much. Yeah, if I was Jeff, I would definitely use the field recovery operation as much as possible. Because he's using the Royal Engineers... Oh no, these are the heavy engineers, actually. Okay, so these are the ones that can get the Vickers K, right. And ooh, he's actually building a forward assembly. Could be very useful to actually reinforce the AT guns. Yeah, he's got a glider there that can do the same thing. The problem is, of course, the forward assembly can also be a retreat point, so he's looking to get rid of some of his excess manpower in this way. Again, I would just go for, you know, a lot of recovery engineers. I would go for one call-in of these, because it would be very, very nice to get the field recovery going. But oh well. AC, yeah, not really going to be able to do much. Unfortunately, also a bit of a Stuka strike does a lot of damage to the allies. The Stuka's still alive, which is an interesting little thing. In the meantime, the Panzerwerfers still haven't done pretty much nothing. We are back at 3 Panthers by Davren. He could be going for a 4th one right now, but one of them goes down to a Churchill from Jeff, who's decided to go for the, I guess, soak up tactic with the Churchill. You have a Churchill to soak up the damage, and then you have something behind it to actually deal damage to the enemy, which is working out fairly well for him. The half-health Sherman Firefly is pretty well protected by the Churchill. It's able to take pot shots at the Panthers at long range, doing quite a lot of damage, almost destroying one of them. The Churchill might go down at this point, but he's going to be popping up that smoke to cover itself as it retreats. Very lucky this Panther that it doesn't go down. Never mind, it does from the 6-pounder. Actually, fragmentation bombing almost takes out the Churchill, and now the Panther tries to go in, takes out the AC, doesn't destroy the Churchill, then gets chased down, or doesn't get chased down by the M4C Sherman, which are now trying a bit of a flank, and they're taking huge damage, it seems, by a Stug and some Panthers. Another Panther tries to chase them down. They're down at 3 M4C Shermans. One of them has just been called in, so I'm not sure where the 4th one went. But, yeah, because he lost one, so he should have lost another one. I'm not sure where that happened. So the Allies coming on top of that engagement because they managed to not only destroy lots of vehicles that the Germans can't really replace, but also advance their territory. They now have control over both the center and the left, pretty much entirely. And also the Germans did lose a KT in that, I'm guessing, because I don't see that KT anymore from Smoke Perp. Yeah, he's only got Panthers. Well, quote-unquote only got Panthers. Wait. Was it Smoke Perp who got a... Yeah, it must have been. He's the only OKW. Wow, this guy had a lot of fuel. Like, he went for a lot of Panthers, then a Stuka, then 2 Flame Hetzers, which is 200 fuel. Yeah, this guy spent a lot of fuel in the course of this game. In the meantime, the Allies are also retaking the right side of the map. They're getting kind of sort of stymied by the Panzerwerfers and the Schwerpan quarters. So they're not going to be able to actually capture the point, but they were forced away after neutralizing it. So Germans really lacking in their VP game, and that's really bad because the Allies are down to 72. If only the Germans could just regroup for one more assault onto the breach, capture, 2 or 3 points, and then hold them for a few minutes, they might just still have a shot at winning this game. But with one AI, coordinating with that is going to be very hard. The M4C Shermans are just doing God's work, or, well, since we're Soviet Union style, we're doing Stalin's work, and of course, this is just kind of collapsing down the line and making the situation for the other German players pretty hard because they're essentially 3v4. Davren going for a Tiger at this point is an interesting choice. With that assault support, of course he can go for the Tiger, but Tiger's extremely vulnerable to Fireflies. and also pretty vulnerable to flanking mediums, so I'm not quite sure if this is the best possible option. That Firefly is definitely a little bit too ballsy. Misses one of the tulips, but the other one does manage to destroy the vision block of the Tiger, so Tiger's pretty blind. So lots of damage coming in from the Firefly and a little bit of disruption as well, so of course the M4Cs managed to come in and destroy the Tiger. There's really nothing that this Tiger can do to escape at this point. There it goes, almost destroyed, and are they just going to leave it to the Germans? No, thankfully. They can also destroy the Panther if the Panther is not, you know, careful enough, because the Panther right now is pretty alone. Like, there's only a Flame Hetzer in the area that can actually assist it, and with 2 Piats, yeah, it needs to escape as quickly as possible. What was that Homan Piat, though? Did you see that? That Piat was supposed to, like, land over here, but the Panther was already back here, and it homed in against the Panther. So, I guess the British infantry is being equipped with javelins instead of Piats. Interesting. Oh, nice grenade from the Churchill. Yeah, put the Churchill in front and then come back with the Firefly from the rear has been working out for Jeff so far, so he's going to be doing more of it, which is a good decision. He isn't going for any more units from the company command post, but I'm guessing that soon enough he's going to be going for something with that. Yeah, lots of munitions being used by Davoren on these strafing runs, but not really, unfortunately, getting any results out of them, which is a bit of a problem. Also, of course, something to keep in mind is the fact that right now the Germans have lost their income advantage because of all the fuel caches being destroyed, and because the Allies got caches of their own, as you can see. And yeah, it does appear like now the caches don't cancel out the other type of income from the point, which is of course really good. Right now the Allies really need to capture some points, but you know, they will be able to capture this left side VP with the Penals from Suicide Squad, and hopefully be able to hold it as well with the swarm of M4Cs. Again, he's still got that problem of not enough engineers to actually repair his M4Cs. And in the center, we have Ducky using actually the raid operation to cap clicker. Very good ability that you often forget about. These abilities that allow you to cap quicker can be the basically difference between life and death, can be a clutch savior when you're essentially starved for points and you're needing to capture points as quickly as possible. You can just use that, capture that, and have an easy time of it. So not too bad at all from Mr. Jeff. Right now, ooh. So commandos, that's not good for the German infantry, and at this point I don't think the Germans are going to be able to respond, because again, they've lost their unit advantage, they've lost their resource advantage, they're still winning a lot of engagements, but at this point, in the long term, the Allies do just have the upper hand. They have a good defensive position anchored on the right side of the map, anchored on the corner, so pretty hard to flank, pretty hard to take. But the Allies just have the superiority overall in the strategic game because they have those extra resources, they have those extra units, with the extra veterancy also. And now they're starting to build their defenses back up as well. Jeff going for a 17-pounder and the forward assembly means that the center of the map is going to be hard to take from the Germans, especially with these AT guns also covering the area. There's not going to be much that the almost non-existent by now German armor can do to actually take that area. Davoren is going for some Panthers again, and his Panzerwerfers are up to 10 kills, which isn't enough. He's just not been using his Panzerwerfers well, which is, in my opinion, a very, very huge shame, because he could have just gone for what he was doing already well, what was working, which was the Panthers. There goes a Panzerwerfer being charged in the center for I'm not sure what reason, I'm not really sure. The two Panthers do come in, and they're going to be in trouble because of the 17-pounder and the vehicle carrying the 17-pounder, which is the Sherman Firefly. They also decide to, instead of going back by reversing, they decide to turn, and the AI with the smoke barrage, smoke bombs, actually kind of saves the Panthers, but that's not enough to actually save the one that was more damaged, more heavily damaged by the start. So very unfortunate over here for the Germans that that was the case. But yeah, Davoren, yeah, he's gonna be forced to lose all this stuff, and I'm guessing this is gonna be the end of it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So what I like about Jeff's play is that he had a strategy in mind and he went for it. He wanted to just be a rock, right? With his artillery, with his Churchills, and then it seems like he adapted to what was going on. He got his Sherman Firefly, he upgraded to Tulips, he used them correctly. He shifted from the extreme left, where he was in the beginning, to actually holding the center because he saw that his team had a bit of a problem with VPs. And then he managed to keep his Firefly alive, which is very, very important because it got experience. And then managed to build also some 17-pounders, get a lot of AT guns out with his extra, manpower. And he got a lot of course, Piats, which was also pretty good against the vehicles. So he was able to keep his units alive, get them some veterancy, and then just keep control over the center when his allies had problems actually keeping VPs under their influence. So he was able to just be a very nice, solid, backbone for his team, which I like. What I don't like about everybody now, more engineers from Suicide Squad. Mr. Ducky, I'm not sure what he was doing with those AECs. Then we have Mr. over here, Tamato RNG, who was doing a good job in that he used his Doctrine a lot. Of course, he used pretty much all of his stuff, except I believe the Assault. So that's good. He didn't let his Doctrine pick go to waste, but then he was very wasteful with his vehicles and was normal infantry. So that kind of leads to the fact that he is the least, the smallest allied army. He's only got 53 pop cap, whereas his friends have 76, then 90, and 81. So he's pretty much the weak link on the ally side. For the Germans, it was just so weird. Okay, so Davrin shouldn't have gone for those P-Werfers, and most likely not for that Tiger at the end. Should have gone for some more infantry, just to support his tanks. Then Smoke Perp, I'm not sure what he was doing. Definitely a wrong Doctrine pick, because the Führersturm, oh my god, it can be fun, but it's weird. Don't use it. It's just weird. The Recoup Blocks is okay, and the Flammenwerfer for the Sturm Pioneers has its uses. The Rocket Barrage can be surprisingly good in some certain situations, but the Flame Hetzer is just no. Then Nadirshan, sorry. Well, he was doing decently, then he crashed. And unfortunately, Smallwood... Wait, did he even end up actually calling in the Tiger Ace? Yeah, and it died, most likely. So yeah, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this cast. It was very, very fun to actually cast and watch. So thank you to Jeff for sending it in. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you soon.